you have a preference for another cryptocurrency. Here it is, a US dollar. If you want, you can see this for yourself. Asset classes like Bitcoin have seen price gains as a result of the DXY's sharp drop. Remember that the entire purpose of digital currency is to protect against inflation. The establishment's demand is now readily apparent. But over the last 8 to 9 months, the DXY has been declining quickly. Would you please let us know what you think about this in the remarks? Without a doubt, it is not a meme coin. The DXY is located here. However, if you hold XRP, go back to the crypto channel. We sincerely appreciate all of the love you give us every day. It is evident from a market-wide standpoint that Monday was yet another dismal day for the cryptocurrency markets. Yes, if you've been following the daily XRP reports, I do bring up Bitcoin and specific levels we should be keeping an eye on. Since, Bitcoin did go below that critical threshold we've been talking about, nothing here has really caught us off guard. At the moment, the price. As of right now, XRP is trading at $2.92, down 1% in USD but up 0.01% in BTC. The total value of Bitcoins is $175 billion, and an incredible 6.4 billion trades occur every hour. I still need to explain something though, as I normally do. You will not be able to manage your finances by listening to this channel. As with any other type of investment, do your own homework before making a Bitcoin investment. In the most recent, in just a single day, 205,138 dealers lost about $1 billion. Keep it in mind. This should once more act as a continual reminder to everyone to stay away from platforms that allow leverage trading. I firmly think that when we evaluate these numbers in a month, people whose positions were liquidated because of negative consequences would come to regret utilizing leverage. Similar situations have happened in the past when big stakes were unloaded and the market quickly rebounded. I would like you to remember this. However, take a look at this. How are you today? Hello. Multimillionaire Tim Draper claims that there are other currencies that will show up as unanticipated gains. However, I believe that Bitcoin is experiencing a notable surge. As a result, Bitcoin will become more popular while altcoins become less popular. Furthermore, I understand your perspective. Even though Bitcoin is now losing ground, I believe that other cryptocurrencies are becoming more popular. The reason for this is that Bitcoin's growth rate has been much faster than during the previous 2 years in comparison to other digital currencies. Not all currencies, of course. Actually, a good number. You can see that money is moving. IRS most currencies, but not all of them. As you can see, investors are investing in altcoins like Ethereum. However, this trend is short-lived. This money will be used to buy more Bitcoin. And I want you to remember that. If a coin is widely used and has high institutional demand, it might get new incentives. These coins will most likely rise in value in tandem with Bitcoin. Remember this. It is very important. The federal funds rate is expected to drop 25 basis points in September and another 25 basis points in December. Per Morgan Stanley's updated projection, there would be a substantial stake, approximately 5% in basis points. I think the fourth quarter would be quite optimistic for the Bitcoin market, as we have been predicting. Pay attention to SBI Japan's announcement that the RLUSD distribution will start on March 31st, 2026, which is the first quarter of that year. Please let me know what you think about this. If our LUSD were to, it stands out from other stablecoins and gives institutional investors the peace of mind they need because to its commitment to creating transparent laws. We have no doubt that this deal will transform the market and make stable currencies more useful in Japan. You should be aware of the seriousness of SBI. Because of them, there has been a significant change. When we talk about big shifts, you can see this for yourself. The credit card that Gemini has hinted at is now formally available. The Gemini credit card's XRP version is now available for viewing. First things first, if you're a US resident and would like this credit card, apply for it. We'll get to the details later. Check out Gemini's official X account to see which link is accessible. Remember, many of these accounts are fake. As a result, the authentic Gemini account is available here. Before clicking on any links, be sure everything is in order. But notice this, presenting Gemini's XRP credit card version, exclusively in US currency, increase your income, get points for the money you spend on transactions. In addition, I know that a lot of people will say, great, there's nothing crazy going on here, but do you know what the really remarkable feature is? It really doesn't matter if you want to cash out or if you plan to stay in XRP for the long run. If you are dedicated to the long term, it makes sense. It won't annoy you too much. What would happen if you plan to remain for a long time and used your credit card extensively? There is a chance to accrue XRP points with this credit card. This isn't overstating things. I wholeheartedly concur. In addition to the things you buy, there are other ways to earn XRP. Let me tell you about it. 4% XRP for ride sharing and petrol. Dining out costs 3% of XXP, grocery shopping costs 2%, and everything else costs 1%, such as getting a haircut or making an online purchase. Do you have any thoughts? I would never suggest that someone who regularly uses their credit card, and I am aware that some people do max out their cards and then neglect to pay them off. The exact opposite of that is what you should be doing. Executing. What would happen if you wanted to remain for a long time and use your credit card a lot? There is a chance to accrue XRP points with this credit card. This isn't overstating things. I wholeheartedly concur. In addition to the things you buy, there are other ways to earn XRP. Let me tell you about it. 4% XRP for ride sharing and petrol. Purchasing groceries costs 2% XRP, eating out costs 3% XRP, while getting a haircut or shopping online costs 1% XRP. And similar things. Do you have any thoughts? I would never suggest that someone who regularly uses their credit card, and I am aware that some people do max out their cards and then neglect to pay them off. You ought to be doing the exact opposite instead of that. Many others, on the other hand, are content to use their credit card for nothing more than accruing points. They settle their bill every month in order to optimize their point redemption. That's the right way to do things. Taking that action would have a big effect. For Americans who are interested in XRP, and I plan to keep investing over the next 5 to 10 years, and you'll be shocked to hear this, but additionally, you won't be given actual money every time you earn these points. We also provided a graphic depicting the sharp drop in the DXY. The best thing about XRP, though, is that I can't promise that it will remain stable. If XRP does move where many predict it to, the points you gain here might quickly accumulate, even though it might plummet in a naked market. In comparison to XRP in the US, a huge issue has come up. Many of the people I follow on my feed are from the United States. We appreciate all ears. Of course, this is quite important to us, but let's keep an eye on the current state of affairs. Proprietors of XRP. Have you noticed this? The XRP exchange currently manages fintech, one of China's most significant supply chains. Billions of dollars in trade financing are moving instantaneously and finding useful applications thanks to XRPP, tokenized invoicing. The final version of XRP is being developed by the global banking sector. System. Open interest in CME crypto futures has topped $30 billion, and XRP is growing faster than both Ethereum and Sol. There's a lot going on here. However, let us examine the current state of the finances. By glancing at this control, you can see that it has increased. It shouldn't surprise anyone. However, since then, it has been falling after we hit 58.8%. By the way, control has diminished considerably in the overall context. Let's take a live look at Bitcoin if you're interested. As you are aware, one Bitcoin is currently worth between $110 and $185. However, see how correctly we labeled this. Remember that I said that if we fall below 112, the door is partially open. As long as we remain below 150,